Hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode and thank you so much for being here. Today I want to share with you all a few Hendrix chord secrets that I've learned over the years. And Hendrix was really the master of putting together these interesting chord combinations, and with the way that he played, which I'll get into in just a second here, he could add little licks and accents underneath the chords at the same time. So back in the day, this was a really cool way of playing. So I put together this instrumental piece at the beginning of the video where I basically mashed together a bunch of these ideas. That way I can break it down step by step, what he would do with these different chords and these different positions. So this may be something that you've seen many times, but hopefully it's maybe a little bit different perspective. I've learned a lot of this stuff basically by ear over the years, so maybe there's something new for you to learn in here. Now for any of you gearheads, what I'm using today, this is my 59 Stratocaster, and I'm plugging straight into a 64 Super Reverb and just straight in, no effects, no pedals, just getting a very nice chord tone. So with that, let's go ahead and get into this lesson. Alright, so let's start breaking these licks down. If you guys are with me, I tuned down just like Hendrix did, so I am in E flat. If you guys are in standard tuning, you could play everything I play but half a step down. So I am speaking as if I am in standard tuning though. So the chord progression that I played at the beginning was A major to F sharp minor to G major to D. But Hendrix would play different variations of these chords, and to start, the most common thing that Hendrix would do that was very cool is that instead of playing a typical bar chord like this, A major bar chord, he would move his thumb to cover the root note here. And so if you really want to get that Hendrix feel and that Hendrix sound, you have to try to learn to wrap your thumb around. And you know, if you're not used to doing this, it is kind of a weird phenomenon, and it does take some time and some getting used to. But the best way I can describe it is, you know, kind of grip the neck, not a death grip, but just get a good firm grip on it, and then use your thumb, and where I kind of make contact is right here on the corner of my thumb, sort of. And that seems to work best for me. So what I did here at the beginning with this A chord is obviously change the way that I'm playing the root note, but also added these little hammer-ons at the top of the chord here. And so what's unique about the way that Hendrix played this chord was that it opened him up to do these little hammer-ons. And what a hammer-on is when you hit a note and then you hammer on with a different finger, and you don't pick the note, but you're still making the sound with it. And you can also use your pinky to hit those notes, and really, if you can train your pinky to do it, it'd probably be better. If you want to make it a little bit simpler and a little bit easier on yourself, just take your pointer finger and bar the top 2 strings of the 5th fret. That's an easy way to start training yourself to get these hammer-ons going. So from here, where I went was the F sharp minor chord. And so you can play it a couple of ways. The way that I did it here is I was getting the root note of the 2nd fret here on the E string with my thumb, and then again the octave, the 4th fret of the D string, and then barring everything else on the 2nd fret. Now you could also omit this octave here and just do the root and then barring the bottom part of this chord. Sounds almost there, right? Now really all I did here was basically a few similar hammer-ons, because you're kind of playing over the minor pentatonic of that chord. So that's all that I really did there. So from here I went to a G chord, and I kind of combined G with the top part of a D chord. It creates this really interesting sound. So it's something like this. I've been trying to come up with some really cool open style chords. So you can get that open D note. You can even add the open E if you want. And of course you're getting the root of the G on the 3rd fret there with your thumb. So next I did some very, very Hendrix style licks. And the first one is kind of a double stop. And it starts with the top 2 strings here on the 3rd fret, sliding to the 5th fret. And you can use your 1st finger, you can use your 3rd finger, whatever works best for you. I kind of like it on the ring finger. And then from there, I did what I feel like is really just the most iconic Hendrix thing to do, which is this right here. And all you do is hammer on from the 4th fret to the 5th fret of the G string. And that is straight out of Little Wing. If you haven't heard that, definitely check that song out. Anyhow, from there, we move on to a D chord, which instead of playing your typical D, right, we're doing this sort of inversion where I kind of picture it as the back half of the D major pentatonic scale. So the D major pentatonic scale here would be, right? And what you're doing is taking this part of it. So barring here virtually everything on the 7th fret, and then putting your ring finger here on the 9th fret of the A string. And that opens you up for all these little intricate hammer-ons and pull-offs and stuff that Hendrix would do. So in case you didn't know, this chord is basically what would be an A chord at the open position, right? So how you would normally play an A chord there, you're just moving that up to play a D instead, and then adding this note. And then essentially just hammering on 7 to 9. You can get the 10th fret in here. And then I'm throwing in my pinky on the 10th fret of the E string, and that's going to be the root note, the D note. That's going to be kind of a tough one to get if you are a beginner. But is that not a beautiful chord right there? a final little trick that I just thought of, a lot of the kind of really thick woody sounds that you hear sometimes, playing over top of the fretboard like that, it gives you a little bit different tone when you play over top of the fretboard. It's a little bit of a warmer sound. So, you know, you can use that strategically. It kind of reminds me of some of the Hey Joe sounds. You know, so for some, you know, extracurricular homework, you could go back and check out Hey Joe, Bold as Love, Little Wing. Those are some of my favorite Hendrix tunes. Now, I will say, as a little bit of a word of caution on this, incorporating this into your playing and your songwriting and stuff like that, to me, immediately when I hear those kind of hammer-ons and those kind of chord accent things, I automatically hear Hendrix. So you want to be careful to put these kind of motifs into your playing, because I think they are very uniquely Hendrix, and so just be careful. You know, you want to take this and run with it for sure, but don't go ripping off, you know, Hendrix, because people will immediately recognize that as a Hendrix lick. Let me play the full progression again for you guys, and you can listen to it here. Hey guys, thanks again for watching. Really appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, the videos, like I said, you can drop me a comment or a like. There's also some links down in the description if you want to check out, follow me on other social media, or there's some other ways to help support what I'm doing here. It really means a lot to me, and I thank you once again. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and take it easy. Peace.